Hey everybody, welcome back. It's block 2 of the One More Quilt Along, and in this video I'm going to walk you through how to collaborate, customize, and work with block 2 within the Quilt Fusion software. One of the reasons why I set up Quilt Fusion the way I did is so that we can easily collaborate with each other, share our designs, and customize them however we want. So with your Quilter subscription, you actually have a subscription to Quilt Fusion included with your sign up. So you'll be able to download, install Quilt Fusion, and be able to generate new patterns from the One World Quilt Along as you've customized. If you're signed up as a viewer, you can also download Quilt Fusion for free. You'll be able to customize any of the blocks, and you can even share them with the rest of us so we can see what's going on. The only thing you won't be able to do, you won't be able to generate your pattern through Quilt Fusion unless you wanted to purchase that pattern. But aside from that, you can still participate through the software. So let's head over to the computer and fire it up. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is download the software, and you can do that by going to quiltfusion.com, and at the very top you'll see a download link, and we're going to click Quilt Design Software. Now there's two versions of Quilt Fusion. One is if you have an Apple iPad, you can install it from the Apple App Store, or if you want to install it on your PC or Macintosh, you can download the desktop version. Since I'm recording the screen on a PC, I'm going to be downloading that one. Once you click that link, there's three tabs at the top here. One's for the Windows PC version, the Mac version, and then there's some extra helper tips over here for installation. So click on whichever one you need and then click the button for Download Quilt Fusion for Windows. It'll download here and you'll simply click it and it'll begin installing. Okay, so once you have it installed, you should have either the icon on your desktop or in your start menu. You'll want to fire that up, let it load. So if this is your first time using Quilt Fusion, what you'll need to do is go ahead and sign into your account. Now, when you checked out with your Quilt Along subscription, we automatically set up an account for you so that we could apply your Quilt Fusion subscription to it. If you didn't already have an account, you probably don't know your password. So you're going to need to use the forgot password, and we'll send you an email to reset that. If you do know your password, if you've already reset it, you're just going to sign in. You're going to use your email address or your username, put in your password, click sign in. Okay, now once you're signed into your account, what we want to do is go to the Quilt Gallery, which is the button right here on the right. And basically the Quilt Gallery is a place where anybody and everybody, including myself, can share their quilt designs. We can view them, favorite them, make comments on them, and we can customize them. So for the duration of this quilt along, every month when we release the latest pattern, we'll also be featuring that block at the top of the Quilt Gallery. You'll click that, and you have a couple of options here, but the one we're concerned with is customize. Clicking this button will load that quilt design into your editor. From here, you can customize any part of this design. However, let me warn you right now, there's certain aspects you don't want to customize so that it still works with the rest of the quilt along. We do not want to change the size of this block. We've got to keep it exactly like this so that everything can be sewn together and all our measurements are going to line up. So don't resize the background block. And the other thing you don't want to do is you don't want to move the globe pieces, the land pieces in the background. Those need to stay put as well. If you move those around, they won't line up with the rest of the blocks. Now, as far as that goes, anything else is fair game. I mean, you can move any of these trees around, you can move the moose around, you can delete trees, and incidentally, you can replace these animals if you want to. In the scene gallery on the right hand side, you can just scroll that up or down and be able to add or remove, other animals to this block. I think there is a bald eagle at the top. Clicking on that will add it to the block, and then I can manipulate that animal however I want to. I can resize them to make them a little bit more prominent on here. And let's see, I'm also going to move Mr. Moosey down over here so that gives him some space here. Now you can also customize fabrics as well. Clicking the fabric tab will pull up a fabric library, and then just clicking pieces to select them, you can change out the fabric. There's also a little tool down here called the palette. If you click the palette, it will load all the fabrics that are currently being used in this block so that you can kind of reuse fabrics. So once you've got your design customized how you want it, you got to get the pattern so you can make it, right? There's a button up here that says Get Pattern. Click that. And since you're customizing this, put your name there as the designer. And this is the One World Block 2. And there's a little toggle here that says Share in the Gallery. It's optional if you want to share it in the gallery, but since we're doing this all together, it'd be great if people shared their customizations in the gallery so that everybody else can kind of see what we're working on, what we're doing. So I'm going to keep that checked so that share in the gallery is there, and then I click the big button Generate Pattern. Once that pattern's generated, it should open up a PDF document in your browser that has the actual pattern in there. Now you can see it's got our new bald eagle sitting there. Just like any of the other One World patterns, it's got measurements here so that when you print it out, you can ensure that it's printing out to scale, which is very important, especially for this quilt. If you've customized any fabrics, those new fabrics will be listed in the materials needed list. If you are using a artistic edge or a silhouette cameo or something like that to cut out your pieces, new cutting files will be available using this button. So again, any customization that you've made to this quilt will be updated in this pattern for you. So I'm going to go ahead and print out my new pattern. So this replaces any of the ones that we've emailed you because you've customized this. You want to make your own. You're going to print this one out and just make sure it prints out to scale. You do not want fit to page or anything like that set there. So go ahead and print that out, and then we'll be taping our new placement guide together and start tracing and cutting. All right, so I've got my new pattern printed out. I've got the fusing guide all printed out and taped together, and I'm ready to start tracing and cutting. Just to kind of refresh your memory, it's real easy how this goes. You're going to trace and cut by fabric. So you're going to trace and cut all taupe fabric together, all green fabric together. Once you've got the pieces cut out, you're going to group everything by letter, the first letter. And then once you've got everything grouped by letter, you'll fuse in the order of the number. So C1, C2, C3, C4, and so on and so forth. Okay, I've got everything cut and lightly fused down, and I've got my new bald eagle to set up on there and lightly fused down. I've got it lightly fused down because I want to make sure that this globe piece is going to match up, and you know what, sometimes I can be a little loosey-goosey, so I want to make sure that if I line the bottom of these two blocks up and simulate my seam allowance there, that my globe pieces are going to line up and make sure they continue all the way across the thing. Looks like I'm doing good, so I can fuse this down a little bit better, and then I can layer with batting. Like I said, I'm doing the quilt as you go method, so I'm going to go ahead and layer with batting, no backing fabric, and go ahead and free motion quilt around everything and do any of the decorative stitches that I did on the previous block. Alright, so that's it for this video. As usual, you can ask any questions or post your progress in the Facebook group for the One World Quilt Along. And I'm really excited to see what people customize within the Quilt Fusion software. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, Uncle Gravy, at quiltfusion.com. See you next month.